On today's show, marijuana vape lounges are becoming popular in Windsor. The University of Windsor's business team comes up big at regionals, and local indie rock band gains national attention. Thanks for joining us. This is Meg Roberts with the 30 News. The marijuana vaping lounge business is expanding in Windsor. Higher Limits has been open for 2 months. The Olette Avenue establishment provides space for users to vape marijuana in a casual setting. They sell smoking paraphernalia as well. Lounge owner John Lidke claims they are there to serve smokers who have a prescription. However, he is not permitted to ask a client to prove that they have a prescription.
So we're a medical cannabis lounge, and so our primary distinction is that we're here serving for medical users. The Canada Health Act prohibits me as an employer from being able to ask to see your prescription or your medical license.
In effect, then, no one knows if the people smoking in the lounge all have licenses. The 30.ca contacted Windsor Police about this, but we haven't heard back yet. We will be following the story. Enactus Windsor, a nonprofit organization based out of the University of Windsor's Odette School of Business, recently swept the regional competition in Mississauga. Ian Virtue has more.
So the 2016 Scotiabank Youth Empowerment Challenge regional champion from League A is the University of Windsor.
Members of the non-profit Enactus Windsor celebrated their win in Mississauga after making presentations on the work they did this past school year, empowering youth, encouraging entrepreneurship for people on social assistance, promoting eco-living, and teaching financial literacy. Enactus Windsor placed first in all categories.
We've been doing this for about 10 years, and it's the best result we've ever had. So it really speaks to our members and the work they put in, and then also Windsor, the great clients that we have who done amazing things, and the judges were really impressed with that.
By placing first in all 4 competitions, members of the Odette Business School-based organization have been invited to the national competition in Toronto this May. There, they will compete against the top 7 schools from across Canada.
I'm looking forward to presenting again, obviously to a bigger crowd this time, making it a bigger impact. I'm looking towards finding out more projects that are going to be helping us, learning a little bit more about how we can help Windsor and how we can actually take away from those projects. But the main thing that I'm looking forward to nationals is my personal confidence, because I kind of started off with presentations, even through regionals, a little nervous, a little anxiety, and that's what I want to get away from.
But the purpose of these presentations is more than just collecting hardware. Curtis LeBute says that he finds presentations motivating.
But when we were at the World competition last year in South Africa, they said that the reason we present is because they want to create a competitive edge so we do better. And once I heard that, it really made sense. And so we present so that we fuel each other to do better in the community. As a university student, we're not getting paid for this, it's all volunteer. So to put a competitive edge and to try and win the country and win the world, that really pushes you to do better in the community and help more people.
We really do. I think and when I say that, I say it with a smile, because I'm remembering all the stories or all the people that I've talked to and that have said personally that you have made, like Enactus has made a difference in their lives. You have individuals coming up to you who are on social assistance, who are now off of social assistance and telling you, my daughters look at me with pride now. I feel they're not ashamed of me anymore. I'm proud of what I do. And they're filled with pride, and they're not ashamed to go on their day-to-day lives.
There are 110 members of the Windsor chapter, most of whom are business students. But not all. Some are nursing, and others are studying communication. But all you need to be a member of Enactus is a desire to make a difference.
I've only been on Enactus for just over a year, and seeing the people that we've impacted talk about us and the words they have for others about the organization is really fulfilling. And if anyone wants an opportunity, they should come to us, because we're giving people opportunities to start.
This has been Ian Virtue, the 30 News.
If the Windsor Enactus team wins at Nationals, they will be advancing to the World competition held in Toronto next winter. I had the privilege of interviewing one of Windsor's most promising indie rock bands. Local band Hutch has been gaining popularity after opening for Simple Plan last month. The indie rock trio is taking another big career step when they play at the Canadian Music Festival in May. Hutch dropped by the 30 News studio to talk about their success.
Honestly, like even a year from like today, I didn't see us here. Like like even the Simple Plan show. If somebody would have come up to me like 2 years ago, like you're gonna open for Simple Plan one day, I'd be like, wow, we must be famous at that point. It's like we got to do it at our hometown and everything.
Yeah, it's hard to say because like we've been getting like some pretty sweet opportunities, like just
Yeah,
I don't know. We just
every
it just
every
keeps
few
getting
weeks.
better. Like I don't know. Every like the minute something kind of fades out, someone else just comes up to us with something. Like we had our big EP release, and that was great. We got in the Windsor Star, all that stuff, and then it wasn't even like a couple days later we got the call for the Simple Plan show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just some crazy stuff going on. So 5 years, who knows? We could be the exact band that we want to be.
It comes with planning too. Like you learn the more you do. So from going around making connections with these little shows that we do, it takes just planning. I think. Practicing, finding times to do that. So it's kind of like a never nonstop thing. So it never feels like we're like sitting around waiting.
Windsor's definitely our home, but I'd say like we're almost going to Toronto once a month now, which is like pretty cool because like we'll play Windsor once a month and then we'll play Toronto once a month, and it's like a good kind of balance.
Windsor has produced numerous outstanding musicians. I asked the guys what they thought about growing up in Windsor and what the music scene in Windsor has done for their career.
I'm kind of thankful that we came up in Windsor because we learned how to do everything ourselves. So then we know when we're being offered a good show and when we're not being offered a good show because we know all aspects of it. And like we can even like compared to other bands, like we're able to set up our own kind of stuff and do it completely ourselves.
Yeah.
I think the last probably year and a half, it's been really picking up. I'd say a lot of new bands have been like getting really good and just releasing like a lot of good work.
And I think
I think that helps a lot. Just kind of like building a buzz around Windsor and like the local scene here.
Like we're like close friends with a lot of really like great bands right now, and like we're all kind of helping each other, which is like really good to see.
If you're interested in hearing more from the band, you can buy their music on iTunes and Bandcamp. A session last night at SB Contemporary Art Gallery on connecting education and the arts. Jordan Worcel Collins has the story.
I actually did make a kind of conscious decision to not show for 5 years, which I think nowadays might be seen as a little bit weird, but
Matthew Houghton is one of 3 artists who spoke about their creative process to a packed house at SB Contemporary Art Gallery in Windsor. The artist talk featured local artists Sasha Opico and Victor Romeo in addition to Houghton, all of whom have exhibited on an international scale. The purpose of the event was to draw attention to the art scene in Windsor as well as serve as a learning opportunity, says SB Contemporary owner Sarah Beveridge.
It's really about education, and the reason that I have set up this series of talks is to really introduce people to the artists that are here within the area. People become familiar with the artists, they get to know them, they have really get to have a behind the scenes look into their practice, what their interests are, what drives them to make, and what they're passionate about.
Visual artist Matthew Houghton says that for him, participating in these events is very important because it brings to light the creative scene in Windsor.
I think for Windsor probably because it has a great cultural kind of background, but the gallery scene is very small. There's a lot of great artists here, a lot of great local artists. You got Detroit here, but there's kind of a lack of galleries. So for Sarah to do this, I think she's trying to build a community. She's trying to sell art, but she's just trying to educate too.
The artist talk is part of a current exhibition at the gallery called Collect Part 1. Collect Part 1 runs until April 16th. A new exhibition, also featuring Windsor artists titled Collect Part 2, will debut in May. I'm Jordan Worcel Collins, the30.ca.
After the winter break, the Lancer men's baseball team is getting ready to start playing the second half of their season, which began all the way back in September. Nick Krepp explains.
Usually, this time of year marks the beginning of spring training for baseball players. But at the University of Windsor, the Lancers men's baseball team is preparing for the second half of their season, which began back in the fall. It's a format new to the Lancers as part of their first season in a new league.
This year we're in a league called the NCBA, National Collegiate Baseball of America. So our season starts in September. We go September, October, play half of our season when the weather is nice, and then we take the winter off, prepare ourselves for the other half of our season.
In the NCBA Division II right now is two of the teams that are in our conference are Michigan Tech and Northern Michigan, which could be anywhere from 12 to 17 hours away. So that's tough to do for league games. So we met Northern Michigan halfway, and Michigan Tech is actually coming to Windsor on April 9th and 10th. And still, the proximity is closer than playing in the OUA and playing less games and traveling up to Toronto for every single home game. A road game.
Varsity men's baseball is a relatively new addition to Lancer Athletics, and the team has faced many challenges since its establishment in 2010, none bigger than the issue of funding. Baseball gets no money from Lancer Athletics. Funding is a responsibility that falls independently on the team.
This was the initiative basically of one, person and employee here at the university, Frank Jenny. So it's really Frank's baby. He's the one that brought the program to life, and he continues to be the primary driving force, currently.
There are very, very limited, and you can count them on one hand, fully funded baseball teams in Canada. The thing is that baseball, even in the OUA, falls under the club sports model. So I like to say a lot of the baseball coaches, almost all of them, are running the baseball team out of their own garage. They're not running them out of an athletic department because baseball is just not looked at as a fundable team in the OUA or the college area. As far as getting funded, I don't see it happening anytime in the near future, but it doesn't stop our guys. We make things work, we make things happen. They have just the same lifestyle as any varsity athlete. We just don't travel on a big nice bus when we go on the road.
Well, first we pay for our registration team fee, which covers uniforms, umpires, field rentals. Then we pay for another uniform fee as well for sweaters, hoodies. So that, you're looking at a few $100s right there as a college student paying tuition and for a sport. Kind of adds up.
What the university gives us is an opportunity to exist. They're not taking that opportunity away from us. So it's important for guys to understand that the opposite side, if you want to be negative about it, is that we could just not exist, and they don't get this experience. They don't get that brotherhood. They don't get a lot of their best friends. And I see a lot of pride when they wear the hats around campus, when they wear the jackets, and there's a lot of pride when we play the games and we post the scores online. So I think the fundraising ends up being easy because the guys know what we need to get done. So.
Regardless of where the money comes from, the future of Lancer baseball looks bright. The team finished the first half of the season with a 15-7-1 record and currently ranks third out of all 150 teams in the NCBA Division II. The team plans to continue their good play through the regional and national levels as they are seeking a spot in Division I of the NCBA next year.
If you're interested in following the men's baseball team, their schedule and results are posted on GoLancerBaseball.com. Humans and animals have had a long, close relationship. Windsor Police have deployed canine officers for years. Lauren Mastracci reports on the partnership between one officer and his dog.
The average police dog, when we get them, are about $9,000 US.
Vegas joined the Windsor Police Canine Unit in 2011. Born Zor von Hausmecki, he was imported from Germany and has been trained by Constable Rob Wilson. For Wilson, Vegas is an investment. His pedigree and bloodline can assure him that the dog will not have health problems.
Large breed dogs like German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois are prone to hip dysplasia. And the breeders that we're getting from are just world-class breeders. And really, knock on wood, we haven't had really any problems with our dogs. All of our dogs, we handpick, and they're very high drive. Your chances are you're not going to see these dogs in the public.
The canine unit is comprised of 5 dogs and their handlers. The dogs aid in search and rescue, apprehensions, and drug detection. Here at the University of Windsor, courses in anthrozoology offer an insight in the connection between animals and humans, of which the relationship with dogs is the strongest and long-standing.
The police officer and the dog spend all their time together. I believe that the police officer actually trains the dog, and there is a real bond when you spend time working with your dog and training your dog, because you take immense pride in the work that you've done in training that dog, and you take immense pride in the result of that work. So when the dog achieves something, you're very proud of his or her achievements, and you also need to depend on the dog to do the duty that they've been trained to do. So the fact that the police officer lives, I believe, one-on-one with the dog, I think they take them home to their home each night. So I think in many ways, because they take them to work, and you see the same thing with people who have dogs for medical reasons, they're with them all the time, and they become so attached to them. It's almost like having a life partner.
Certainly, Vegas is Constable Wilson's companion. Not only does he live with him, but once he retires, he'll continue to be part of his family. This is Lottie Mastracci, The 30 News.
This concludes our final newscast for the semester. Stay tuned to the 30.ca for ongoing stories. I'm Meg Roberts. Thanks for joining us.